On September 14th, Ada held our first ever in-person conference in Chicago. Ada Interact brought together CX leaders from different brands and industries and all around the world to talk about the future of customer experience. There was so much wisdom under one roof, and we wanted to make sure to capture all the key takeaways and deliver them straight to you in this podcast. Let's dive right in. It's a known fact that the experience a customer has with your brand is equally, if not more important than the product or the service that you're selling. New Voice Media recently found that 67% of customers have become serial switchers, changing brands because of a poor customer experience. Either they didn't feel appreciated, they had to wait on hold, or got passed around to multiple people. Zendesk recently learned that 50% of customers switch brands after just one bad experience, and after a second bad experience, 80% of customers are switching brands. So customer experience is critical to retention and customer lifetime value. Now, leaders in this space are looking for strategies that will help them treat every customer like a VIP. But what do those VIP experiences look like? We asked this question to several attendees at Ada Interact, expecting a wide range of responses. But what we found really curious is that CX leaders across the board are pretty much in alignment. Here's Alex DiNardo, customer success specialist at Ground Floor Finance, a fintech brand based in the US.
A VIP experience for our brand is making sure that all our customers are handled the same way, even those who are investing, very large amounts of money with us and those who are getting in with the minimum of $10.
Here's another quote from Randy Beerage, head of community operations at DOT, a micromobility operator headquartered in the Netherlands.
We'd like to think that all of our customers are VIPs.
What we found most interesting is that even though these businesses have completely different operating models, some are B2B, some are B2C, every CX leader wants a VIP experience for every customer. But who in the company is responsible for delivering that?
Every team is responsible for brand interaction.
I don't want to nail it down to just one team. I think it's kind of a collaborative effort.
I do think that all teams internally are responsible for delivering brand interactions.
All right, so it might have been obvious that more than one team was going to be responsible for customer experience, but I do think there's more to the story. Traditionally, it was the marketing team who was seen as the team primarily responsible for customer experience, mostly because they had the first touch point for the customer, whether that was an ad or your website or a YouTube video. And so because of this, they were seen as the face of the company. But there's been a shift since then, and there's a new face in town called the customer care team. The customer care team has a much bigger stake in the customer experience, and it's different from marketing because customer care is speaking with customers as opposed to speaking at them. Customer care is having literal conversations and interacting with customers, and so they're seen as brand ambassadors. Here's Randy Beerage again.
I think typically what we see is customer success or customer support really as the vocal point of the company usually is the one that's going to be interfacing with customers the most. And so really we take the most responsibility in making sure that we are representing our brand well and that people have positive brand experiences with us.
I also want to share the perspective from Emily Zepeda, digital self-service manager at BFA. Beauty for All is one of the largest beauty box subscription brands in the world. Emily highlights the power that a customer care team has within an organization.
The customer care team is normally that team that is the face of the company. Every interaction with a customer will then decide if they come back as a customer, how long they stay as a customer. The CX team is the team that touches the customer most often and has the ability to win a customer or lose a customer.
Christian Barrera, the chief customer officer at Lang AI, also agrees.
When people used to talk about customer experience, they were very much like front-end minded. How do you get a customer into a relationship with you? Marketing to them, getting them excited about your brand, whatever the case may be. I think what's happened since then is that support experience, that service experience has become a much bigger part of the overall picture. Because so many businesses are now based on sort of playing a repeating game with their customer and increasing customer service and customer loyalty and making you have this huge opportunity basically to make that experience on the service side a huge driver of retention and growth of your relationship. And being able to draw that line turns the whole service discussion from a productivity discussion or a cost discussion into a revenue discussion.
So the pendulum has swung to the other end. Once marketing was primarily responsible, but CX has become synonymous now with customer care, and the responsibility has completely shifted. What we often see at Ada is that it's not limited to marketing and customer care. Often operations and product are also getting looped in to help execute on what marketing and customer care are trying to achieve together. So the RACI for customer experience has expanded to include all these different teams. But now we have a new problem: consistency. With so many teams involved, how do you make sure that you have a consistent brand experience across a customer's entire journey with your brand? An inconsistent brand experience is really jarring to a customer. If I'm not getting the same message from a brand across my entire experience with them, I get frustrated and I lose trust. Inconsistent brand experiences get in the way of a brand living up to their promise of treating every customer like a VIP. So, how do you align teams to make sure you have that consistent experience across your entire brand?
We do our best to maintain a consistent experience by having at least weekly touch points among the customer success team to make sure that we are handling queries the same way, making sure that we are consistent in our answers and not just the information we provide, but how we provide it.
This is time well spent. Alex's team is making sure that they're not siloed and that everyone is championing the same message. I want to go on a brief tangent now and talk to you about the opening keynote from Mike Murchison, Ada's CEO. He asked everyone in the audience if you could go back in time 30 years and give Blockbuster advice that would save their brand, what would it be? Emily's answer pretty much sums up what most people said.
Adapt, transform, understand where your customers are, understand what the technology is that is coming, and adapt. They never adapted to what was next. It wasn't for me about the buy-in of their C-level executives. It was simply about understanding the customer, understanding the new world, and adapting as the world adapted, adapt with it.
Hindsight is a great tool, right? Knowing what we know now, it's really easy to spot Blockbuster's downfall. Wendy Collins, the chatbot manager at DAZN, had a different answer.
What I would do is sell on the side a nostalgic scent of what a Blockbuster video store smelled like. So when you were scrolling, you could actually you'd feel like you were scrolling inside a Blockbuster store. So you'd have that old popcorn smell and the plastic of the covers. So that would be my advice to Blockbuster.
Yeah, do you think they should sell it as a candle?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That would be really cool.
Or a little room, scented oils.
A diffuser.
Yeah. A diffuser, that's it. That's the thing.
Wendy's answer is so insightful because she highlights the power of experience. While we've all pretty much bought into the on-demand streaming platforms that ultimately sunk Blockbuster, nothing compares to the excitement that I used to feel as a kid learning we were having family movie night. All of us jumping in the car to drive to the Blockbuster store, getting hit with that smell of stale popcorn as we stormed in, running up and down the aisles, checking out all the movies, and hoping that there would be enough VHS tapes left for us to rent the movie that we wanted to watch. So I might have been going to Blockbuster to rent a movie, but I was probably way more excited about the experience of being in the store than actually watching the movie at home. Wendy's idea here perfectly illustrates how CX leaders can sell a brand experience. Take a moment now to reflect on Mike's original question. What would your advice to Blockbuster be? Building off the insights from these interviews at Ada Interact, I wanted to share 3 main takeaways. Number 1, customer journey and customer experience are not one and the same. The customer journey is all about what you want people to do. Customer experience is about what you want people to feel. Number 2, customer experience is the responsibility of most teams in your organization, including marketing, customer care, operations, product, and sales. It's important to make sure that your teams are aligned to create a consistent experience. And finally, don't underestimate the power of brand experiences. Lean into them because ultimately that's what you're selling to customers. I hope you found these interviews as illuminating as I have. We have the keynotes from Ada Interact available to watch on demand at interact.ada.cx, and I highly recommend that you go watch them for a glimpse into the next chapter of customer experience. As always, thank you for listening to this episode of Now Brands Talk. You can always email us at podcast@ada.support. We'd love to hear from you. And if you'd like to hear more conversations about closing the brand interaction gap, subscribe to Now Brands Talk wherever you like to listen to podcasts.